My husband's mistress sent me a smug text, "You'll never be enough for him." Instead of responding, I spent the weekend with her brother. On Monday morning, I sent her a picture, him asleep next to me. She called screaming, "You're a monster." I smirked, "Guess it runs in the family." I'm a 42-year-old woman living in San Diego. My husband, Mark, and I have been married for 15 years. We met in college, built a life together, and I thought we were solid. But over the past year, things started to change. Mark became distant, often working late and spending more time on his phone. I asked him about it, but he always had excuses: work stress, deadlines, needing space. I wanted to believe him, so I did. Then, one Friday afternoon, I received a text from an unknown number. It read, "You'll never be enough for him." Attached was a photo of Mark and a woman, clearly intimate. My heart sank. I didn't respond. Instead, I started digging. I found out the woman's name was Sarah, a coworker of Mark's. They had been having an affair for months. I was devastated, but I didn't confront Mark right away. I needed time to process and plan. I discovered that Sarah had a brother named Jake, who lived nearby. I reached out to him under the guise of discussing the situation. We met for coffee, and he was kind and understanding. One thing led to another, and we ended up spending the weekend together. It wasn't just about revenge, it was about reclaiming my worth. On Monday morning, I sent Sarah a photo of Jake asleep next to me. No words, just the image. She called, screaming, "You're a monster." I calmly replied, "Guess it runs in the family." I confronted Mark and told him I knew about the affair. He tried to deny it at first, but eventually admitted to it. I told him I wanted a divorce. He begged for forgiveness, but I was done. I deserved better. This experience taught me that I am stronger than I thought. I won't let someone else's actions define my worth. I'm focusing on myself now, healing and moving forward. Sometimes, the best revenge is living well. I thought it would end there, with the photo, the screaming, the silence after. But I was wrong. 2 days after I sent that picture, Jake texted me, "We need to talk." In person. I didn't like the sound of it, but I met him anyway. We went to a quiet cafe in La Jolla, where no one would recognize us. He sat across from me, looking guilty. His hands trembled as he picked up his coffee cup. "There's something I didn't tell you," he said, not meeting my eyes. I felt my stomach twist. "What is it?" Sarah knew we met. I stared. "What do you mean?" She figured it out. I didn't tell her, but I think she guessed. She went through my phone. She knows we spent the weekend. I clenched my jaw. "Okay. So? Let her know. She started this." He shook his head. "It's not just that. She's threatening to tell Mark everything. About us. She wants to destroy you." I laughed bitterly. "Tell him what? That I slept with her brother after she slept with my husband? He has no right to be angry." Jake leaned in, lowering his voice. "She's not just going to tell him. She's saying things. That you seduced me. That you manipulated me into it. She's trying to make you look unstable." That hit differently. My heart pounded. I suddenly felt cold. Why would she do that? He hesitated. Then he finally looked at me. "Because she's not just jealous. She's obsessed. She wants Mark to leave you. She wants you out of the picture entirely." A few days later, I started noticing things at work. People looked at me differently. My supervisor pulled me into her office. "Are you okay?" she asked. "We heard you're going through a lot at home." No one should have known. I didn't say anything to anyone at work. That's when I realized Sarah was digging deeper. Somehow, she found people from my job. She was trying to ruin me. I got another text from her. "Still think you won? He won't stay with you." He never meant to. I didn't reply. Instead, I started preparing. I saved everything, screenshots, texts, even the original message she sent me. I spoke to a lawyer. I didn't want to just get divorced. I wanted to be protected. I thought I was ahead of her. But she played dirty. One night, Mark came home furious. Eyes bloodshot, fists clenched. "You're unbelievable," he spat. I stayed calm. "What are you talking about?" He threw his phone on the table. An email. From a burner address. It had screenshots of my texts with Jake, just the ones where it looked flirty. No context. "She sent you this?" I asked. "You used him to get revenge?" he shouted. "You're disgusting." I sat down slowly. "And you?" "You cheated on me for months. Lied to me. Gaslit me. Now I'm the disgusting one?" His silence told me everything. He wasn't sorry. He was just angry I'd hurt his pride. The next day, Jake stopped responding. No calls, no texts. Gone. A week passed. Then another. Nothing. I worried. Not just for myself, but for him. Something felt off. Finally, I got a call from a blocked number. It was Jake. He sounded tired, voice low. "She threatened our mom," he said. "Said she'd tell her everything. About me. About what I did with you. I had to leave town for a while. I'm sorry." I wanted to scream. But all I said was, "Be safe." I hung up and sat in the silence of my apartment, wondering how far Sarah would go. I had a feeling the worst wasn't over yet. The silence didn't last. A few days after Jake's call, I came home to find a letter taped to my door. Not mailed, taped. No return address. Just my name, written in red marker. Inside, it wasn't a letter. It was a printed photo. A picture of me and Jake, leaving the hotel that Sunday afternoon. I remembered the exact moment. I was laughing. He had his hand on my back. There was a sticky note on it, "Sluts get what's coming." I stared at it for a long time. My hand shook, but I didn't cry. That night, I installed security cameras around my apartment. 2 days later, Mark showed up again. Not angry. Not screaming. He was quiet. "I need to talk," he said. "I'm not here to fight." I let him in, but I didn't sit. "I saw Sarah," he said. "Last night. She came to my place. She said you ruined her life. That you used Jake. That you were a psychopath." I rolled my eyes. "And what? You believed her?" He shook his head slowly. "No. I didn't. Because she said something she shouldn't have known." I narrowed my eyes. "What did she say?" "She told me you were allergic to strawberries. That's something you've never posted anywhere. Never told anyone from my work." My throat dried up. "She's been watching you," he continued. "She's not just jealous. She's obsessed, with both of us." We didn't call the police. Not yet. Instead, I came up with a plan. If Sarah wanted to control the narrative, I'd give her something to feed on, something fake. I asked a mutual friend of ours, someone Sarah didn't know well, to tell her that I was thinking about leaving town. That I was scared, alone, vulnerable. I even posted a vague story about needing a fresh start on Instagram. Then I waited. It didn't take long. 3 days later, my apartment was broken into. Nothing stolen, but my bed was soaked in bleach. My clothes cut up. And the security camera? Smashed. But I had backups. The footage showed her. Clear as day. Hood up. Gloves on. But it was her. I knew that body language. That face. It was enough. Right after the break-in, I got another knock. It was Jake. He looked rough. Lost weight. Pale. She came to our mom's house, he said. Screaming. Threw things. Said I betrayed her. My mom kicked her out. But now I think she's following me. I let him in. For the first time, he looked scared. I didn't know she was like this, he whispered. She used to be normal. Controlling, yeah. But never, this. We sat in silence. I asked him, what happened to her? Why is she like this? Jake looked at me and said something that chilled me to my bones. When we were kids, she told me once that if she couldn't have love, she'd destroy it for everyone else. The police finally got involved after the footage. They were slow, but they started a file. That's when something unexpected came up. An old ex of Sarah's reached out to me, through Reddit. He'd read my post. Recognized the behavior. The messages. Even the handwriting on that sticky note. She used to threaten my wife, he wrote. Back when I cheated. She wanted to be the only one. Said she'd erase the wife from my life. I never believed her, until she keyed my wife's car and sent pictures to my boss. This wasn't just about me. It was a pattern. The restraining order is in process. My lawyer is building a case. Sarah hasn't been arrested yet, but it's close. Mark has moved into a rental. We're still heading for divorce, but there's a strange calm between us now. Like two people who survived a storm and are just trying to dry off. Jake stays in contact. He still blames himself. I don't. Not anymore. We're both just trying to make sense of it. But part of me knows. This isn't over. Not yet. It happened at a work conference. I wasn't supposed to be there. I'd asked to skip it, but my manager insisted, said it would look good after all the rumors floating around. I didn't want to give Sarah any more power, so I went. The venue was a large hotel in downtown San Diego. Professionals everywhere. Name tags, polite laughter, small talk. I saw her the moment I stepped in. Sarah. She was in a black blazer, hair curled, standing next to Mark. He looked uncomfortable. She looked smug. I froze. And then, everything went to hell. It started with Sarah approaching me. I tried to walk away, but she stepped in front of me. Loud enough for the people nearby to hear, she said, "You really thought sleeping with my brother made you the bigger person?" I kept my voice calm. At least I didn't sneak around for months pretending to be a friend while sleeping with someone's husband. She smirked. You ruined your own life. And now you're alone. I didn't flinch. I said it straight, I might be alone, but at least I'm not a parasite. People were turning now. Listening. She stepped closer. You want to play victim? Please. You seduced my brother. You played him. That's when Jake's voice cut through. No, Sarah. She didn't play me. He was there. He'd come. I didn't even know he was in town. All heads turned. He walked toward us, all eyes now fully on the three of us. He looked at her and said, "You played all of us. You've been doing it for years. You need help." She laughed bitterly. You're going to take her side? Over your sister? Jake's face hardened. I'm going to take the side of someone who didn't threaten to burn down my life because she couldn't control it. She slapped him. Right there. In the middle of the hotel lobby. Someone gasped. Security started heading over. Mark just stood there, motionless, pale. And then, like something snapped, Sarah screamed, "He was never yours." Pointing at me. Face red, eyes wild. He only stayed with you because he felt sorry for you. You were his obligation, not his love. Silence. Like a pin dropping. Then Mark finally spoke. Enough, Sarah. Mark stepped away from her and turned to me. I was wrong, he said. About everything. About you. About her. I ruined it all. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him. He looked small. Tired. Sarah was still fuming. Security escorted her out. She didn't fight them. She just stared at me with pure hate in her eyes. Jake and I walked out together. He didn't say anything for a while. Then he asked if I was okay. I wasn't. Not really. But I nodded. The conference, obviously, was a disaster. I was called into HR. I showed them the emails, texts, security footage. They said they'd investigate. Sarah never came back to work after that. Mark and I finalized the divorce 2 months later. He tried to talk to me again, but I was done. There was nothing left to say. Jake and I kept in touch for a while. We got coffee now and then. He apologized more than once for everything, even the parts that weren't his fault. He moved back home to take care of their mother, who'd started having health problems. We never officially dated, but there was a comfort between us that neither of us wanted to let go of. A quiet understanding. People like Sarah, they don't just want love. They want ownership. Control. And when they lose it, they burn everything down. I lost my marriage, but I found my voice. I'm not saying I'm proud of every choice I made. But I don't regret fighting back. I don't regret showing her that she couldn't break me. I've started therapy. I'm learning how to trust myself again. How to breathe without second-guessing every word, every step. Some scars stay. But they stop bleeding. If you're reading this and going through something similar, don't let anyone convince you that being enough is something you have to prove. You are enough. Even when the ones you love forget that. As for me? I'm still healing. But I'm free. And that's more than I ever thought I'd be.